Hello guys and welcome back to Happy Freak Friends. I'm Chris X and welcome back to Elder Scrolls Online after a long time. Already after playing many hours, countless hours. This is my future home that I'm going to buy soon, which is amazing. I'm gonna show you in the end which one is it. So, without further ado, let's get into the new player very nice build business. So, if you're a new player in Elder Scrolls, or if you're also an old player that already got much experience in this game, probably you will find this video useful. So, let's start by checking what character we got at the moment. So currently I play with the Dragon Knight, the Stamina Dragon Knight DPS build. And I'm gonna start by showing you all his attributes, race, skills that I'm using, weapons, sets, and rotation. So first of all, we're gonna go with the race. Of course, my favorite race is an orc. To be honest, I always got an orc for stamina builds, but you can have as well a Redgar. A Redgar is also very convenient and very efficient, and also got more resources, but it's not very efficient with resistances, so this is a big minus. However, with this build you can have this movement, this skill, Brawler, which gives you a lot of resistances. For this build we're using the Thief boon, the Thief star, which increases your weapon and spell critical strike ratings, and if your gear is fully with Divine's trait, you can find easily the Thief boon over here in East March. If you don't know where to find it, it's just over there on the top of the map, and down here on the south area of East March. The champion stars that we're gonna use with this build, of course the green ones, it's up to you what you're gonna choose, it doesn't even matter. For the red ones we're gonna go with a typical fortified, the rejuvenation, the bloody renewal to restore 300 stamina per stage, totally 1500. And I prefer to go with the expert evasion. It's actually 2 roll dodges for the price of 1. Of course, instead of this, you can swap this into that one. The survival instincts, which afflicted with a status effect. Whenever you are afflicted with a status effect, your core combat skills cost 5% less, and as soon as you will raise it up to 50, it's gonna cost much less. So more resources for you. And for the warfare stats, we're going with a typical fighting finesse, the deadly aim, the most important thaumaturg, because this build is based on the thaumaturg, which means damage over time effects, and of course the master at arms. If you're playing a hard boss that actually you're not straightforward attacking him, and you're attacking him from 90 degrees left or right or behind him, you can go with the backstabber instead of the master at arms, but only in that occasion, so you can upgrade your backstabber just to swap it whenever needed. Now with the sets. So my main sets, of course you don't need to have your sets in gold quality, you can just keep them in the normal epic quality, which is the purple. So I'm going with a deadly set, which is the most important. I'm going with a two-handed, and I will explain later why I'm going with a two-handed and not with a dual wielding. So clearly a deadly battle axe and a deadly bow. My jewelry as well are deadly, as you can see. The rings and the necklace are all 3 of them purple quality, because it's really expensive to get it to gold, but it's not necessary to get it to gold. In order to acquire the deadly set, you will just have to use your alliance points in Cyrodiil, and especially in the city of Bruma, which is here. You just have to find the merchant over there. Most of the times this area is blue, so either you can have a character that belongs to the Daggerfall Covenant, or you can just hope that this area, whenever you play in Zero Deal in any map, it's gonna be the alliance of your choice. And you will just have to find in Bruma the merchant that sells the sets. He sells Deadly Strike set, so you can have them from there, or you can buy them from guild traders. Of course, they're not really cheap, to be honest, but it's a set that guarantees that you will have much damage, because this set gives you weapon damage, weapon critical, again weapon damage, and it increases your damage over time by 18%. So this is an amazing set. Is both for PvE and PvP. To be honest, is my favorite set. Easy to acquire even in lower levels, just with a few gold if you will buy them from guild traders or alliance points that you can get them by playing battlegrounds. Come on, in the beginning you're playing all the time battlegrounds, aren't PvPing, you're doing you're taking so many alliance points that you can spend for deadly. If there is a way to spend your alliance points in something, the best way is to spend it for deadly, because you can sell the items that you don't want. If you will get an item twice or 3 times, you can sell it. Many people still buying the deadly set, so go for it. Now the second set we're using is the Reliquan, is the Arms of Reliquan that you can acquire from the NCR, the Cloudrest. Cloudrest, it's a DLC trial that you can find in Somerset. It's over here, and you can farm this set here. If you don't own the Somerset, or if you're really low level that you still feel uncomfortable to play in a trial like NCR, you can change this set into Toothrow, which is also an excellent set to start with that you can get from Wayrest Sewers dungeons, or even Leviathan, which gives you pure critical to all the trades. It's pure critical. Leviathan, again, which you can get from the Crypt of Hearts dungeons. And as soon as you will feel comfortable, you can go there and farm Reliquan, which is an amazing set. It gives weapon critical, it gives the Minor Slayer, which all the sets that you get from trials give you the Minor Slayer at all times, which means your damage in dungeons, trials, and arenas will be 5% more, some more critical, and your light and heavy attacks apply a stack or harmful wind to your target for 5 seconds, which is an amazing, and again it works with damage over time, which is our build based on. And if you're going with a monster set, the one that I would recommend is the Celine's Visage. So you get the headgear from Celine's Web if you will play it in Veteran. You can find it in light, medium, or heavy. Of course, as you can see here, I have it in heavy. It doesn't matter if you will have it in medium. In medium is also fine. Light, I wouldn't recommend it because it's a medium build, since it's a stamina build. So you can go with heavy or medium. And the shoulders, you can get them with 5 Undaunted keys from the daily pledges. If you don't know where you can find the daily pledges, of course you can find daily pledges in all of the alliances. I preferably go to Grathhood and I find my daily pledges over here. It's daily missions that when you accomplish specific dungeons, you will get those Undaunted keys over there, down there. I currently got 0, and obviously you will need 5 in order to unlock 1 pair of shoulders. Again, it's not gonna be guaranteed if it's gonna be light, medium, or heavy. I was lucky, just got the medium. You can use heavy as well. Light, again, I wouldn't recommend them for stamina builds. So as soon as you will have the head, which is the most difficult since you have to play the Celine's Web dungeon in Veteran, you will get eventually the arm cops as well, the shoulders. So before we finish with the inventory, we have to discuss a little bit the traits of the gear. So for the deadly battle axe that we will have on the front line, on the main bar, we're gonna need to use the glyph of poison damage and the trait sharpened, which increases our physical and spell penetration. For the bow on the back bar, we will use again the poison damage glyph and the precise traits, which increases weapon and spell critical. For the sets, we're gonna go easily with the maximum stamina enchantment with a glyph of stamina for all of the items, and with the divines trait, a purely 9.1% for all of them. If they're gold, if they're purple, it's gonna be 8.1. And the most important, for the jewelry, we will go with a glyph that adds weapon damage for all of the jewelry. And as a trait, we're gonna use the bloodthirsty, which is even better when you use the executioner skill that I will explain you later, because it increases your weapon and spell damage against enemies under 90% health. So now let's go for the skills. Since we got a two-handed build, and I extremely recommend the two-handed skill line because of the brawler, which is the main skill that we got in order to keep us alive. If you deal damage with the brawler skill, which is this one, you gain a damage shield that absorbs almost 6,000 damage for 6 seconds. And each enemy that you hit increases the damage shield strength, which goes up to 300. If you will hit 6 enemies like this, you will get 300 more damage shield, which means that this will keep you alive for much longer than actually you would do without it. So, our executioner skill, you can get it from the two-handed skill line. Is this one, is the fourth one, is the reverse slash morphed, and is the one that we're gonna use all the time after the boss will get down to 50% of health. With this, you will make 400% more damage to all enemies that they are below 50% health. Right, so after explaining you the brawler and the executioner, which are your main skills that you're gonna use all the time, we continue with the rest of the skills of the front bar. So third skill for the front bar, it's gonna be the Noxious Breath, which makes poison damage and additional poison damage for 14 seconds. And except for that, it also reduces the physical and spell resistance of the enemies. Next is gonna be the Flames of Oblivion. It may sound for a magical build, but it's not only for magical build, because except for the damage that you make, the flame damage, you can also slot it on the front or both bars, to be honest, so you can have major prophecy and savagery, which increases your spell and weapon critical ratings even more. And last skill, which is not usable but very important, comes from the Fighters Guild. It's the Camo Hunter or Camouflaged Hunter, as you prefer. You just put it either in both bars or front bar, the bar that you use the most, so you can have major savagery all the time, which increases your weapon critical rating. For the ultimate, we will go again from the Fighters Guild as soon as you will reach it on level 10. The Flawless Dawnbreaker is the Dawnbreaker's morph. For the back bar with our deadly bow, we're gonna go for a typical poison injection to start with, which again makes poison damage and additional poison damage, and it deals 100% more damage to enemies under 50% health. Again, with the Thaumaturg trait that we got, it's gonna be even better, because it's another skill with damage over time effect. Next skill comes from the Earthen Heart and is the Molten Armaments. It's always a must to have it on the back bar and use it as soon as it finishes, because with this you gain major brutality, which increases your weapon and spell damage by 20% for over 30 seconds. And also your heavy attacks are more powerful. Third skill that we're gonna use from the back bar, for the back bar, is the Venomous Claw, which again is a damage over time effect skill, which deals poison damage and over time some more poison damage. Another very important skill for the back bar comes again from the Fighters Guild, that's why you have to work up the Fighters Guild up to level 10 as soon as possible, is the Barb Trap. Another skill with overtime effect that makes bleed damage. This time is exactly the same as poison damage, there is no difference, which makes a huge, almost 20,000 bleed damage over 18 seconds. Again, is a Thaumaturg skill, which is a must to be used on the second bar. You just place it, the enemy falls into it, you just go to the main bar, you continue your job. And last skill, actually it's up to you what your last skill is gonna be. I prefer to use a self-healing effect, which comes from the Assault. Skill line is the Resolving Vigor. You can use the alternate version, which heals also your teammates. If you're sure you don't need a self-healing effect, a self-healing skill, if you got a healer with you or a companion of you is a healer, you can go for the Stone Giant. It's also a very useful skill. Again, is from Earthen Heart. But I prefer always to have a self-healing skill, just in case. Or if you prefer to have some more physical and spell resistance, you can go for the Volatile Armor again, instead of self-healing. So you can add about 6,000 more physical and spell resistance for 20 seconds. If you want to add more, since you got also the Brawler, that whenever you attack an enemy, it gives you spell and physical resistance, no matter what. And for the ultimate, for the back bar, we're gonna go with a simple and very effective from the Dragonic Power skill line, Take Flight ultimate, where you launch yourself to enemies and make 17,000 physical damage and knocking them back, all the enemies. It works very efficiently in PvP and PvE as well, especially if they are not a boss, but this is one of my favorite ultimate that the game can offer. So for the rotation, you will just go for the Molten Armaments first. You will just use your bow skill, all the skills that you got on the back bar on the enemies, so you can have damage over time effect. Again, injection, poison injection, and now you go on the front bar to use the Brawler, to use the Noxious Breath, to use your Flames of Oblivion, and of course your ultimate. And this is pretty much your rotation. Again, Molten Armament, injection, Barb Trap, Brawler, Flame of Oblivion, Noxious Breath, and ultimate. Of course, this is the best ultimate. From the front bar, from the Dawnbreaker, because it gives you also resources. And Selene's Web also. The Bear of Selene is working perfectly with the stamina build. It attacks all the time for much damage. And as soon as you will reach below 50% of the health of an enemy, you're gonna use the Executioner, this attack here. There. So rotation actually is pretty simple, because all the skills that you will use just for once for every 30 seconds almost are on the back bar, and the attacking ones are on the front bar. Of course, since I mentioned many times that most of the skills are my favorite, you can understand that this is my favorite build, which is the Poison build for Stamina Dragonite. And before ending the video, I mentioned that I'm gonna show you where this house is that I'm going to buy, which is an amazing one. And it's actually on the island of Rosmkai. It's over here. It's the Handings Palatial Hall. Amazing space, private beach, what else do you need? I hope that the video was useful. If you have any questions, just let me know, because I play with this build all the time. And if you need some more information about where to find the sets or how to unlock some skills or whatever, just let me know. So thank you guys very much for watching. I hope this video was useful for you, and as always, I was Chris X, and I'm gonna see you all in the next video. Goodbye.